Hello, and welcome to another Insight Tech Talk. My name is Brian Louderback, Regional Sales Manager for Insight Public Sector, and today I'll be your host to talk about next-gen connectivity. With us today, we have two experts joining us, Jeremy Nelson, Director of Services for Cloud and Data Center Transformation at Insight, and Melissa Ashurst, VP of Emerging Markets from JMA Wireless. Welcome, Jeremy and Melissa. How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Great, Brian. Thanks for having us.
Hey, no, thank you for joining. So in the context of connectivity, kind of just to talk a little bit about what we're going to do today here, we're seeing such a huge, strong reliance on having connectivity for all aspects of our lives, whether that's receiving education remotely, maybe receiving healthcare through like telehealth offerings, or just being enabled to work remotely. We definitely know that post-COVID has definitely played in the role in the importance of all this connectivity. So I would just like to take the time today to explore how the importance of connectivity is truly shaping the future of our communities and businesses. So Melissa, I'm going to start with you. Can you help us understand the technology and what is involved here?
Sure. So I think you're seeing kind of a convergence. So you have these traditional tools that have always been in the toolbox of Wi-Fi and working with the cellular carriers to get the connectivity you need. Now we're starting to see some really new, exciting things come out that are here to help support the Internet of Things. And when we look at those applications, you're talking about 5G millimeter wave, and now we have this great tool that the FCC has given enterprise customers with CBRS, where the end user can actually own their own little slice of a cellular network like a carrier.
Ah, awesome. So how long is this new, or how long has this been around?
So CBRS has been around for a long time. It was underutilized spectrum that the FCC has opened up about a year and a half ago for the general public to use. And it's really about spurring innovation around 5G in the United States to make us competitive with the rest of the world.
Awesome. Very cool. So Jeremy, let me come around to you, because I know you have a lot of experiences at Insight working around these types of projects. I'm kind of curious if you can touch point on what you're seeing and how cities or districts are leveraging next-gen connectivity.
Yeah, Brian, I mean, this has been probably one of the most exciting kind of engagements for us to work on here at Insight from a number of different perspectives. So as we heard from Melissa, some of the great technology advancements that are coming as a part of this whole CBRS 5G push that we're seeing around, the evolution of connectivity is really the way that we think about it. But when we think about what we can do on the humanitarian side of it, you highlighted this at the beginning of the Tech Talk, was we're seeing connectivity. And when we think about what our community or what our society has evolved into over the past few years with the introduction of a variety of different things, the internet, and we think about smartphones and how we carry connectivity with us everywhere that we go, it's no longer an option. Connectivity is just as important and just as vital as electricity or water coming into our homes. And a lot of us really have come to take that for granted. And we don't realize that there are so many of our fellow citizens and just members of our communities that have been underserved from a connectivity standpoint. And I think what really kind of came to light as COVID really started to take a firm grasp on our society was that it really did expose how impactful that was to these underserved communities, whether that be from education and helping to build the next generation of leaders and entrepreneurs within our society, to work from home, being able to sustain the economies and to help support these families that were obviously in need. So we're seeing a number of different use cases. So first, that humanitarian side, being able to use something that's rapidly deployed and has very, very ubiquitous access like CBRS into communities to help provide that necessary connectivity into those underserved homes, to help bridge that gap, to help, we hear that digital divide. We really are building a bridge over that digital divide with this technology to help get through this immediate pandemic situation. But what's really exciting is that communities are now using this as a springboard into smart cities. As we think about the way that, again, coming back to the humanitarian efforts here, we're heavily focused on the individuals, the individual families initially, but really we have a capacity to influence broader economic and as well as environmental change by leveraging smart city technology and connected assets that really encompass an entire infrastructure to help these municipalities really bring next generation of visibility, control, and environmental benefits to their communities that they serve.
Yeah, Jeremy, I love your passion and the connection to the word transformation, right? I mean, we're seeing transformation occur in our communities, in our backyards, and that is so exciting to see. So I appreciate you going through that. Melissa, let me kind of come back to you. This sounds complex. Like this sounds really, big and macro, right? So what are some of the key considerations or attributes to this technology that you're seeing or what you found through kind of some of these projects? I'm just curious.
Sure. So it can be complicated if you make it complicated. Having the right partners, I think, is really what is important in figuring this out. And it all really starts with what Jeremy was talking about. What are we looking to accomplish, not only today, but in the future? And how do we look at those end user devices and what are those applications? And then we kind of just work our way backward from there in figuring out what we really need to be providing for a solution. And again, that could be any of those tools that are in the toolbox. And that's where you need to really leverage strong partners and their knowledge and experience to ensure that you're getting not only what you need for today, but for the future as well.
Yeah, awesome. And so, when I see kind of what Jeremy was laying out, I'm thinking, Internet of Things, devices, sensors, and those types of things. So can you touch point around, the security aspects of these types of technologies and what's your opinion on that?
So that's probably one of the biggest bonuses of the CBRS network is you have all of the great flexibility that you would have with a Wi-Fi network, but you have all of the inherent security applications that exist there for the carriers. So if you think about, hacking into an LTE network, that doesn't happen. This isn't a Wi-Fi network. It is extremely secure. We're actually partnered on several projects right now with the DoD. So when you think about, high security clearance and needing to protect that data, there is no customer that is requiring more security than the DoD right now. So I think that the average user should feel pretty confident that a huge value of this is that security. And when you think about the money spent on all of those security network applications, there's a real ROI as well.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you going through that. And when you speak government or education, right, security has got to be top of mind. So I appreciate you going through that. Hey, I appreciate both of you joining. We talked a little bit about the connection to purpose. We talked a little bit about the technology as a whole and some exciting things. Any other final thoughts that you would want to conclude our session here today? Jeremy, I'll start with you.
Awesome. Yeah, the big thing that I talked about, I know that I really highlighted a lot of the humanitarian and public sector, right? The overall government and municipality use cases for this. But I think one of the exciting things that we see about this evolution it really is an evolution of connectivity, like I said before, where there are tons of use cases where this goes just beyond that government or that public consumption type of a model, everything to extending access in mines or providing connectivity to large scale buildings while they're being constructed. So there are a lot of different connectivity use cases that we've had to come up with some kind of bizarre ways to solve, where as we think about this transformation around wireless connectivity, the distances, the way that we can penetrate through different materials with this unique offering in the CBRS 5G space, it really does open a whole world of possibilities way outside of just serving the communities and providing these smart cities.
Yeah, appreciate that, Jeremy. And Melissa, got any final thoughts?
Just don't be intimidated. Again, find the right partners, get informed, that spectrum is so valuable. You have, almost the same amount of capacity sitting out there as a carrier's network. And it is there for our use and our development and our innovation as a country. So don't be intimidated. Find somebody to help you understand it and take advantage.
Hey, from our perspective, I know, from a spectrum standpoint, what is the perspective of FCCC and CBRS and adoption at the federal level? I know you and your company do a lot around watching and managing that industry as a whole. So do you have any commentary around kind of where this might go from a level of importance or adopting it within our government?
So I mean, we're currently working on projects where part of it is 5G, part of it is CBRS. So this is already happening. We're seeing with the Ongo Alliance that that footprint is growing of where we're going to be able to use the spectrum in the future. So when you think about some of the pilot applications that we're doing here in the United States right now, the thought of being able to advance those applications and technologies for, war zones and things like that become really interesting in what we can do and how we can better support, our soldiers here and abroad.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I guess you mentioned talking about getting the right partners. And Melissa, I just want to say that our partnership, and just say thank you for the partnership. It's been awesome to work with the JMA organization as well as for you. And Jeremy, I appreciate your expertise and your experience and your support and truly creating purpose and impacting our communities the way you have. So on behalf of Insight and on behalf of being on the Insight Tech Talk, we thank you both for joining today.
Thank you, Brian.